It's Stacey, and welcome to today's Hicks Orchard Apple a Day Challenge. Today I want to talk to you about planks. High planks, modified high planks, forearm, modified forearm, side. Okay, we'll do them all. So just plan to kind of move along with me. That will be the exercises going into each of these different positions. All right, first thing, I'm going to turn to the side, but I want to point out the following things. Hands are not going to be out here, okay, when you're in your plank. That would be more for a push-up, okay? Our hands are going to be underneath our shoulders, and they're not going to be in front of us. And you know what I'm saying? They're going to be underneath your shoulders. That's going to be real important, okay? So I'm going to turn to the side and talk to you about the different positions. Now, I have been teaching for 20 years, and I would say probably in just the last 4 to 5 years, something just really clicked for me with plank, and where I could really get out of my low back and that sort of thing. And that's what I want to try to share with you, are the cues that I use to help me be in a good form, and hopefully they'll help you too. Okay, so go ahead, turn on your side. Oh, let me say this. You will need a blanket or a towel. Even if you're on carpet, when you go onto your forearms, you'll start to kind of feel a little rug burn. So we won't do that just yet, but have it handy. Okay. All right. So to get into your full plank, put your hands down. We can be in a tabletop first. How about that? Hands underneath your shoulders, fingers pointing forward. Okay. Remember, not out and not in front of you. Okay. Right underneath those shoulders. Now, pull those abs in, really pull them in, okay? Step 1 foot back and squeeze the glute. Squeeze it, tuck that tailbone, and then take the other foot out. Now, what I realized that I was doing for those first several years is I was trying to keep my shoulders square, because my shoulders kind of round and forward, even when I have a straight back, and I was trying to avoid that. The problem with what I was doing is trying to keep my shoulders square. See how that lowers me down? And I start to sag in my low back, and I can feel that right now. You need to think of pushing the floor away. That is what really has helped me. Push the floor away. Let your upper back, see I'm kind of rounding in my upper back? I never really want to be like that when I'm standing, but for a plank, you need to be there. Squeeze those glutes, pull those abs up into the spine. Really push the floor away. That's going to give you a nice, good plank. You can be forward on your toes, or you can sit back into those heels a little bit and take a little of the pressure off your shoulders and your arms. Okay, so now to modify this, really pull the abs in, really squeeze the glutes, and all you do is lower the knees. Okay, so I'm still in that lifted, rounding through my shoulders, pulling my abs in, okay? So, and then look how easily, just curl the toes under and go right back. Okay, see how I hardly change positions there? Okay, good. All right, come off that for a moment. Okay, shake it out. Whew. Now, this can be a lot on the wrists, okay? Something I saw a teacher show me, a way to stretch out your wrists after you've been in a plank like that. Take all the weight off this hand and flip your fingers towards the back. Now, don't put any kind of weight on it for real, but then you can barely start to put a little weight in there, and you'll feel that nice stretch. So remember that too, okay? But the next thing I'm going to show you, we're going to go to forearm. Okay. They say forearm plank is actually the best thing for your core. And really, a plank, you're working everything. You're squeezing your quads, you're working your arms, you're just doing everything. So, all right, so for a forearm plank, like I said, I'm going to use that blanket. Elbows underneath my shoulders, kind of in a modified tabletop here. And then squeeze your glutes as you take 1 foot back, and then the other joins it. Same thing. Now, I want to try not to be up here, okay? It's not horrible if you are. You want to be kind of more in line from your shoulders to your heels, but remember, we don't want to sink down. Okay, this is going to be a lot of pressure on the low back. You do not want that. Push through, round through those shoulders, puff up through that back, squeeze the glutes, pull the abs in. So there's your full forearm plank. Then lower the knees, and still, you still can be here, okay? Still squeezing that belly into the spine. You're still going to get the work out of that, okay? All right, let's curl our toes under and go back to the full forearm. Maybe you can be back in the heels or perch yourself forward. That's more work on the shoulders, so pay attention to how that feels for you. Everyone put your knees down wide, and let's go into a child's pose, so get a little stretch there. So even though I'm showing you how to stay out of your low back when you're in your plank, you're still going to need to do this stretch. You're still working your back a lot. We just don't want to have any of that discomfort and extra pressure in your low back. So child's pose is always a good one to do after a plank. All right, now let's just talk about side plank real quick, okay? Now side plank, we can work from the least difficult to the most difficult, but for the full plank, you know, the regular plank, I wanted to go start high and then go modified as far as the form. Okay, so you can put your hand underneath you, underneath your shoulder, and of course you can always do this on your forearm too, okay? We'll show that on the other side maybe, okay? So first thing, if you're mirroring me, this is your left leg, right? So put your foot out, and then you're gonna push through the floor and lift those hips, okay? So what you're gonna wanna do here, this is the most modified of the side planks, and it's fine. You're gonna really squeeze this side. What you don't wanna do is be here, right? Putting that, sinking into this hip, sinking into the shoulder. Push yourself away. Push the floor away, lift this side, okay? Then, if you want to go ahead and go up full, take your top foot forward and your back foot be staggered on the floor behind you. Push the floor away. You can be here with your arm up, mine out of the screen, but you know, up there like that. Or just keep your arm by your side. Whatever you want to do, okay? Full expression of side plank is actually feet stacked like this. And you can come into that from a full plank, rotating over. This can be a lot of pressure on that lower knee, okay? And for a while, I could not do it. So that staggered one is just perfectly great, okay? Remember, knee down, look at this. Look at the difference in my body. It doesn't change at all. High, bring the knee down. Keep that side lifted. And you can be here. That's perfect, okay? All right, why don't we go to the other side? Whew, that wrist. Remember what I talked about? Stretch that wrist, okay? Let's do, let me grab my blanket. For a forearm side plank, same thing here. I'm gonna keep my left knee down, my right leg long, okay? And I'm gonna lift up, okay? Squeeze that side, push away, push through that elbow, through the shoulder, and then take that right foot forward and take that left foot back and be in a nice stagger there if you want to do that, okay? And if you want to try to go into the full variation, full expression, bring your left foot forward and your right foot on top and stack. But remember, that can be a lot of pressure on that lower leg, so don't do it if it's too much on the knee, okay? All right, so I hope some of those things will help you in your planks. Really think of pushing away, pushing the floor away, lifting away from the floor, squeezing your sides, your abs, okay? And you can just start working on holding it 15 seconds, then move to 30, okay? If you can get to a minute, give yourself time to get there. It's really good for the core. All right, well, thanks. That's all for today. And I will see you next time. Good luck with the challenge. Bye.